I am 4z. I'm an independent musician and the founder of 4z-L Productions. I have always been interested in the underground music scene within London, what it was really about, and if the musicians there had similar aspirations as myself. London is an expensive place to live and has so many jobs to offer its inhabitants. One must spend all their time earning money to maintain this expensive lifestyle and time to rest for the next working shift to pay the bills. Leisure and holidays are rare working these 9 to 5 jobs because maintenance prices are so high, people cannot afford to miss work. Employees lose their sleep and or their personal time to pay up with money to spare. About 7% of people can land well-paying creative arts jobs within a month after applying, allowing adequate financial maintenance and the peace of doing what they love. We should question if the productions in this job field is actually art, or is it just product for sale? Does it consist of purpose and meaning, how people intend it to be? Does it lose this when there is a guarantee of a sale? Does money pollute creativity? Focusing on the worldwide and substantially utilized art of music, we will see the comparison between mainstream and British independent music. We will see how much skill goes into independent music, and how important playing instruments and making music is rather than just partially being able to sing or rap. Some of us, depending on one's taste and how deep you go into finding the different variations of music, understand the basic essence of mainstream music. Majority of the time, it is money over quality. But what about independent music? While the rest of the world sleep for work the next day, talented and creative independent artists surface at night. They live hidden deep within the city, performing in the late hours of the night where available, such as in cafes, bars and restaurants. These people don't have the money to finance their music well, or time to fully devote to the practice, but yet create such profound art by overlooking financial profit and making music through passion with attention to detail. I took one night to visit other independent artists and musicians to ask them about their music, how they feel about the production of their craft, its purpose, and how they use it to survive in London. The first person I went to see was Slim Chance, an electronic musician and a visual performance artist working full-time from North London. I wanted to see his take on making music independently and what it takes to do the work he does.
It's a hard thing to achieve because it's not a simple case of just being able to make a good track, and it in some cases, yeah, but compared to how it used to be before the whole boom of the internet and mass sharing and just how cheap it is to be able to make music, essentially make music for free at a pretty decent level. I think anyone who's interested in making music and has a good passion for it would be thrilled for other people to enjoy their work and what they put their heart and soul into on a mass scale. I think you'd be crazy if you're like, oh, I'm making music for kind of just like a few hundred people. If you had the opportunity to play it to tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. You won't accept that you're not going to make money really from selling music. If you can make people happy and they can enjoy what you do, you can be a part of their life in some sort of way, I think that's a good kind of thing to aspire to if you're making music. But there's been a recent surge in people recognising producers as opposed to singers with whoever makes the beats, like early kind of Britney Spears stuff. You have no idea who that was made by.
Yeah.
Then gradually through the kind of surgence of stuff where suddenly producers are making albums with guest singers, there are more people making beats, there are more people that are appreciating other people's beats, and it's building up and it's created a scene, and then there's a market for it, and this is where we are now. Vocals follow the beat completely, and so instrumentals are quintessential, and the beautiful thing about it is that there is millions of different ways to make them. Say dubstep, if you're listening to all the different kind of strains of dubstep, well, that's completely instrumental. There is a type of genre within that you would like, a type of sound, a type of set of, even if you're a person that likes vibraphones or marimbas, or if you like kind of guitar tracks, you like kind of dubby things or whatever, there is always some sort of instrumental which you're like, I like the groove of this. Being a musician isn't just about making banging tracks, or like, you've got to have an image, you've got to have a background, you've got to have all sorts of skills and trials to go through, from like going on tours or doing DJ sets till like stupid hours in the morning, or working with loads of other people as an assistant somewhere. You've got to do all sorts of things to kind of become a whole musician. It depends how you brand yourself. It used to be all me in terms of this is I'm making music, everyone listen to my shit, this is what I do, and that doesn't work. He's become far too introvert, and it becomes a very kind of ego trip thing. But for DJing wise, I've tried to build a balance of it where I make a lot of mashups, a lot of things from like early 2000s kind of pop songs, 90s bits. So anything from you just got to get people dancing music wise. People work hard during the week. They want to go out on a Friday night or a Saturday night. You're the person in charge of music, aka having a good night. No, it's good. It's good kind of seeing just general good reactions of people and that enjoy what you do.
Slim told me much about his music and his business. He told me what he has to do for his work other than making music itself. His music was similar to another artist I went to visit. Instead, his craft is within writing poetry. Oliver Wilson of Visual Nerd Studios is an independent rapper, filmmaker and photographer from East London. I thought it would be good to get his insight on music.
I'm the poetic nerd, mixes up my words and verbs, sound served to the knowledge average hero. This is for the new era, words are like subliminal messages passing through your inner.
I'm not gonna rap about I have 100 cars when I don't have 100 cars. I ain't rapping about I have a mansion when I live in a council estate. You know what I mean? So I'm just dealing with reality. So this is my reality, you know. For a song to be satisfactory to me, I need to have a feeling that these people took time on this track. You know, you can relate to it. For me, it's just a way for me to express myself, where I just could write a song or take a picture or just do something creative to express how I'm feeling at that moment of time. Your work can let people know you've got different aspects to that side of you. You don't really need a record label, although it's nice to have that financial backing, but you can make a song in your house and you can distribute it straight to the fans. So you cut out the distributing companies. It's kind of easier, but it's harder at the same time, because now anybody can release a track and it can become an overnight banger or viral sensation, you know what I mean? Like, you got so many people who are not so talented, they have the same opportunity as a person who is talented, so it is kind of hard. Especially with music, you can break down every component of music and you can appreciate that one component by itself. Even guys in West London banging on a bucket, you can listen to that and you can appreciate it. I will probably get a few hours sleep. You know, I just want to do the best possible. Even when it comes to like recording tracks, I will spend hours recording tracks for artists just to make sure they get the best takes. You're not gonna make money off this straight away. It's not one of them things where you're going to be like a millionaire overnight or anything like that. It's like a lot of grinding, but it's more rewarding and you have more of a peace of mind doing what you love to do. You know what I mean? But don't get me wrong. You still have to make sure that you're getting money from it. You know what I mean? I make sure I get paid for them things I enjoy doing. That's how I'm going to survive. For me, it's all about the quality of the work more than the money. If you enjoy what you do, it doesn't seem like work.
Oliver's traditional style of rap was very intriguing. But what about the other styles of musical performances still consisting of rap? Jahi, a singer, rapper and guitarist from South London, explains the other motives of making music other than making money. He provided insight of the purpose behind making his music.
Of course, doing a cappella is great, but a lot of the times songs don't have that essence without the instrumental behind it. You know, it creates more of a feeling and it creates a story sometimes, you know. I do enjoy performing with music. It does carry me as I carry it, but even without, you know, it leaves your vocals stripped. It feels like more pressure's on you. I do believe some musicians like recognition. We want to know who's making the actual music behind the singer. That's basically a big part of what you're performing, a big part of the music that you're doing. I mean, I could listen to an instrumental and obviously that would give me an idea for how to sing the song, you know. Sometimes I think of how to sing it before I even think of an instrumental, so either way. I really do want to connect with people And I do want to uplift and inspire people. That's one of my main reasons why I do this, to show people that they can do what they want to do without being held back. If you put passion into it, if you have a love for it, that's what makes it.
Acquiring insight on how music helps Jahi sing and communicate his messages more effectively. I wanted to find out how instrumentalists feel about their music being played in the background. I went to Seven Dials, a jazz bar located in West London, which stays open in the late hours of the night and showcases live performances of a talented jazz band.
Singing as as an ensemble, where like a jazz ensemble, for example, and of course the instrumental track that's going on behind you is almost, it's being improvised, so therefore you're reacting to what the singer's doing. So there's sort of call and response, and there's that kind of sort of organic movement between the musicians. If you're talking about a band or an instrumental band, then obviously it's a sort of a collective experience of playing, so everyone shares the same importance and value in adding to that music.
And you get a band, and then it's like, it's all about the singer, and you say, well done, the singer. Like 20 plus years of training behind their instrument. What you read about in the press tends to be about the major artists like Rihanna. The sort of the working musicians in the background don't really get the recognition as recognised as those artists. One of the hardest parts is just logistics, actually, in some ways, because you get a really great idea or whatever, or you think you've got a good idea, and then getting the musicians together when you can't pay them.
Well, yeah, I think like anything where the most creative parts have always been the most difficult parts, to make like something from scratch, or come up with something new, or someone just asks you to come up with an idea for something.
It's just hard to get everyone to come together and try and create something with that when you're not sure what this end product's going to be.
The whole thing is in not knowing. So how do you not know something? That's the key to, a sort of live performance. You've created something that nobody else has created because it hasn't been thought about. And what it is, and we kind of live in an age where nobody's allowed to make a fucking mistake anymore. The problem with the industry is everything is risk managed. Because life's a risk anyway. You walk out your house, you get run over by a fucking bus. But everybody wants to risk manage everything now. Yeah, is it going to be this? I ain't going to do that, I ain't going to do that. There's no chance to experiment or do whatever, but we're doing it. So fuck it, we might make no money, but maybe we'll have some fun.
This jazz band are occasionally accompanied by an older musician, an 87-year-old pianist and singer. I really wanted to know how he felt about independent versus mainstream music today, from experiencing the past 60 years of it. I assumed that he would be able to give me more detail on his perspective on the evolution of independent music.
There is a problem that has arisen through celebrity culture. Nothing but their absolute best is acceptable. There's this unattainable perfection that people have got used to. I don't think people who are not musicians can appreciate what musicians do because they don't have an understanding of what someone does to be able to play a musical instrument. It's too complicated. And playing an instrument like the piano is extremely complicated. If you're playing any other instrument, your hands are complementary on one particular item. If I have musicians that have a rapport with me in what I'm doing, then I just instinctively would play a line on the piano that would lead the singer into what they want to sing. And when the singer has sung something, I might do an echo of it, you see. But this is all happening very quickly. It's hardly at a conscious level. None of us can like all types of music. I suppose it's just got to be appropriate to the circumstances, and the circumstances and people have got to be appropriate to the music. It's nice to bring happiness to people. So if you have a crowd of people that know the words of songs like people did years ago, they're all happy singing along to the songs that I play. But nowadays, of course, we've got two generations that don't sing anymore, so they're missing out on singing. And singing is one of those therapeutic activities that we should all do. We should all spend some time speaking, sometimes singing, sometimes dancing, sometimes laughing. And people that don't have enough of this in their life are mentally deprived, in my opinion. The music I play has been recognised by people who have been enthusiastic about it. The music still contains thoughts and feelings in what it does, yes.
My last musician of the night, whom of which I visited, is from central London. Like the Seven Dials musicians, he is much in love with jazz, but he is much more immersed in his sounds. Artem produces deep acid jazz, a unique style of music compared to what people hear today. He is fully focused on every intricate detail of the music he produces, mixes, and listens to.
I think is if you are an artist, sometimes you doubt your ability. Sometimes you have to kind of convince yourself that you are creating something that is worthy. That's what music's very good at, to open person's mind, just to forget about certain bullshit that people try to implant into other people's minds and just concentrate on something wholesome. Well, for me it's not really the background. For when I hear it, it has to have that certain substance. So someone has to come in it with a certain substance, because if it hasn't got that, it doesn't matter how technical, whatever creative it is, it has to have meaning. It doesn't even matter how simple it is. You have to be able to feel something from it. If you're not really feeling anything from it, then there's no point really. Right now, there's a lot of experimentation going on, especially in London, as it is the center of a lot of different sounds, merging of different sounds and different cultures. So there's a lot of experimentation going on with music.
People will sacrifice what they must for what they love. Music can consist of beauty in many ways, which is more frequently present in independent music. I have only visited a small amount of talented independent artists. They have shown more promise than mainstream artists, while still working their 9-to-5 jobs, just about surviving in London.
More people have access to tools to create music and art in their home studios and their bedrooms, secluded from the busy city of London. They will be spreading their own music and art through their own network, which consists of skillful craft, ambitious production, and powerful messages. One thing is for certain: if you look hard enough, you will always find beauty in the beats.
Have you made a lot of money out of your music?
Money? I mean, how much is a lot of money to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Have you made, say, millions of dollars?
No.
Are you a rich man?
When you mean rich, what you mean?
Do you have a lot of possessions? A lot of money in the bank?
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life, forever.